Okay, so I mean, most of them, like, who didn't get email about the syllabus, you can either, email me back. It's my email ID is manu at itmerica.com. Okay. I'll send you the latest syllabus. Actually, I changed a little bit to the syllabus, but most of them, remain the same. Okay, so, let's quickly go through the syllabus. So first two classes I'll be explaining about the introduction. So basically we'll just go through this. Why do what are the various testing? So why do we need all these testings? Okay, so it's a part of our job. Okay, so it's part of our responsibility. Okay, okay, okay. So this used to have so many bugs, but I think this. Maybe see some people can hear, some people cannot. Okay. Screen, say screen. My screen is straight. Maybe it's from that point of view because your screen is straight. Okay. So I don't have any. Okay. So let's do this. Okay. Is this good now? Okay. So let's not worry about it. Okay. So you'll be getting a better recording at the end of the day. So if you're able to view it, it's good. Okay. Okay. So if you're not, then I'll be giving you a better recording. Okay. So okay, maybe blur because it might be the issue with the internet connection. Here it's good. You see this, good internet. Full bar. So you know, so it's good. So let's with this great montage. Okay. So next third and fourth class we'll discuss about this rally. So rally we use, this is a tool, it's a test management tool. What is a rally? Rally is a test management tool. What is a test management tool? So in this test management tool, you'll be creating, so you need to create test cases, right? You need to create test cases, you need to execute the test cases, you need to report the defects, you need to coordinate with the, developers, you need to coordinate with your, a team lead, you need to coordinate with your tech lead, a lot of things goes on. So, a lot of stuff happens. So you need a test management tool to, to organize all those things. Okay, so, we'll be, working on this. So, 2 days, third and fourth class for the Rally tool, the complete. See, we have various tools, not just Rally. We have HPLM, we have Rally, we have ClearQuest, we have ClearCast, we have Jira, we have, all these things, so many things. So don't worry about it. Just, concentrate one or two tools. I'll be giving you how many tools you want access to this. I can give you any number of tools. Mostly I'll be giving you 3 tools access. You don't need all of them. Just, concentrate on one. If you think you need more information, then you can go to that too. Okay. So one is good. We'll concentrate on Rally. Okay. So don't go too much. It's for the people who want to know more, because see sometimes, right? Sometimes people say the interview they ask, okay, no, we don't use Rally, we use Team Foundation Server. So in that case, right, you should not take it like, oh, I know only Rally. How am I supposed to do with it? Just so that's nothing to do with it. If you know one tool, that's more than enough. You're good. Okay. So okay. Some keeps on dropping. This is wow, this is good. So this is good. Let me how many people okay, so let me check with this. So okay, so I'll be noting down this. Let's see if we can have any solution for this. We need to do later. I already opened this issue before. There was no issue. Now, okay, so this is it will be about the Rally. Okay, so we'll be working on this Rally tool. Okay, and so here in this Rally, so it's a test management tool. So we will concentrate on Rally. Okay, but I will also be giving you 2 more access, or rather 3 access to the way. So that's all a test management tool. Different companies, different people use it. Different companies, different people. All these things are different, but the process is similar. Process is not same, it's similar. Okay, what I mean by process, that means if the button is here, don't get confused, the button might be somewhere else, but it will be there. Okay, the UI is different. What I mean to say, UI, user interface. Here we have it's like something is located in the right side of the upper corner, but in different tool that might be located in the left side of the lower corner. We don't know. So don't worry about it, just concentrate on one tool. If you like Rally, you go ahead with that. Okay. Okay. After Rally, we'll go to right. So I've noted down. Okay, let me check. If there's anyone I'll just let them know that you may not able to hear it properly. Not sure how many people. Okay, so next we'll go to SharePoint. Okay, SharePoint. So in this, from this class, we'll be using. Okay, so so it is not clear. That's fine. I mean, I know this. No, I'll send you better recording. Okay, so for the for time being, just okay. Yeah. So Richard, do you have any question? Oops.
Yeah, Manu, can you speak a little bit loud and slowly, please?
Sure.
Like, it's like
Yeah.
it's a very, it's like the very confusing sound.
Right, right. I'm a little fast. I know that. But moving forward, you'll be, getting more. So don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah, let's speak slowly. Okay. So next, so this is the introduction. So we'll take 15 minutes, little bit of introduction. So you are not losing. Technically, you are not losing anything. Just to know, have all this syllabus. You can go ahead with the syllabus. So that's not a big deal. Okay. So SharePoint. So fifth class will have SharePoint. So this, I'm moving to Confluence. So Confluence is actually a SharePoint. It's pretty big term to say at this point of time. It's SharePoint is like when you have documents like test plan, test strategy documents. Okay, business requirement documents. Okay, all those things. You have a lot of documents, right? Let's be a little bit high level. We have a lot of documents. All these documents are shared within the team. So that's the need of SharePoint. So it's kind of team level. Like kind of Google Drive. You can share with other people. Google Drive. So similar way, right? You have this SharePoint. So we have this. I use this Jira. From Jira, we have this access. So we'll use Confluence. So Confluence is, just a name given for the SharePoint. So don't be confused what is Confluence. It's a SharePoint. Okay. So then we'll go to, so I'll not give much of introduction on the Confluence or SharePoint, just give you access to that, just give you access and just go ahead and, you can get the access for this and, or you can also write in this. Good. I mean that you can also write. Okay. So I'll just close this animation. Maybe I should have. Okay, good. No, you cannot write. Good. Okay. Um, so after that, we'll go to various documents. We'll go to what are the documents you'll be using. Then we'll go to SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. Okay, and so this is like a process. It's a management process. Not that we see this is not something a tool or software or something. It's just a management process. That means management decides what we have to use. Like, is it agile or is it a waterfall methodology, or is it like something like extreme programming? It's like Kanban, or it is helical model, or there's so many methodologies. So what we need to use, so agile. So we'll be using agile more frequently. So that's what the management decides, but we are involved in that. So we need to know this process. So we'll be going under software lifecycle. Okay, software development lifecycle. And we'll go to the STLC, that's software testing lifecycle, and then we'll go to bug lifecycle. This is an introduction on how does it work. So the reason for this is, why do we need this? It's basically you're into a process where you need to follow some procedure. Okay, you cannot just go ahead and, okay, I'm at the job, I can do everything. No, you cannot do. You need to follow some, methodology. That is, okay, it might be company's methodology. They might have done, so they, it by their own. It might not be agile. It may not be waterfall. They may have their own method. But they need to understand that, okay, first coding, then build, then testing, then production, and so on. So the way they want to work. So that's the reason you need to know. It's a process basically. It's not a software. It's not a tool. It's something which is not, I can give you access or something. It's just it's from a management perspective how they want to organize the work, right? So that's so we'll go to this introduction. Next, we'll have this introduction on agile methodology, okay, and we'll just have an introduction that various terminology. So there's a lot of terminology in agile. It's similar to what we know, right? Developers, testers, business analyst, project manager, a lot of people, directors, and project architect, QA architect, QA tester, QA analyst. Okay, so we have so many other things, so we don't worry about it. We'll get to know slowly. Okay, so yeah, sure. So I'll be sending you good recordings. So, okay, don't worry about it. Okay. So at the end of the day, you'll be having better voice quality. Okay, understand this voice quality is not good. So let's. Okay. So next 7th and 8th class we'll go on Jira introduction. Jira, this is where this is one more test management tool. This is also test management tool. So I'm like mostly trying to skip HPALM, but if you need HPALM, you can sure get an access with that. Not an issue, but it's slowly trying to become an obsolete. Okay, it's slowly because it's been a long time. It's almost like 10 years, more than 10 years. Okay, I'm using that. It came from what is that? So it was like quality director, then quality center, then they came up with HP quality center, then the HPALM, then a lot of developments. But when coming to agile, it's slowly that thing is moving up. Why? Because it's the way they work is a little different, and that's to be honest with you, that itself has so much issues to actually work on an issue. So that's pretty confusing actually, to be honest. So but if you want, like, of course you can get access, you can go through it, you can understand the tool, it will be good. 9th class, I'll take on QTP. This new tool is UFT, Unified Functional Testing, but this is an old, we'll stick to a little bit old because we need to know a lot of components on that. So I'll just explain a little bit coding. We don't go much deep into coding, but we'll just see this so that because if you are going as a manual tester, I would also recommend you go as an automation. Right? You can go as Selenium, you can go as QTP, UFT tester, QA tester, QA lead. Keep your options open. Always keep your options open. If you lack one skill, go to the another skill. Okay. Just don't always stick to one thing. If you stick to one thing, you'll take a lot of time. That's what I mean. Just don't get, okay, I know only manual. No, I'll go to only manual. No, I'm good. No. Because today's time, it's, if you're sticking to one thing, it's really becoming very harder and harder to, get a target. Make sure you have so many skills, you as a QA tester, you as a QA analyst, you as a QTP tester, or QTP analyst, or UFT tester, Selenium tester. Keep your options open. Don't get scared. Nothing to do with anything. Process is similar. I will explain you most of things. Okay. So that is about QTP. And 10th class, oh no, Jira and QTP are not an automation tool. QTP, yes, it's an automation tool. Jira is a test management tool. Okay. Jira is a test management tool. Okay. You are not, doing any automation in Jira. Okay, of course, you have to store some information, store some scripts. Okay, you can do that in Jira. You want to pull out the scripts, but nothing to do with QTP. QTP or UFT is to run that script and get the result, right? So both are different. QTP is a automation tool. That's right. Jira is a test management tool. Okay, so those two things are different. Okay, let's go to we have taking a lot of time in this introduction. Okay, so let's quickly go to 10th class. I'll be checking on certifications, and so this what new thing that you want to get certified. I mean, this is not something. This is like it's a free, and you don't have to pay anything. You don't have to pay. Just sit on your home. Sit on your desk. Just complete some certification, and the reason why I brought up this because. You can put in your resume saying that you are certified QA tester. You are, you got from MBA, Microsoft Virtual Academy, okay, or Sailor Academy, okay. So it's something which is, gives you little bit boost on your resume because the reason why this is right. So is, as point of my view, when you get a project, there's like bunch of resumes, like not one or two. Trust me, you don't get like one or two resumes there. You get like tens or 15 resumes, and the manager judges you based on your skills, right? So they want to see what achievement you have done. So if you have this certification, so that makes you better than all that makes your resume more outstanding than other resumes, right? So that's the reason, like so this is free. If you want to do it, you can go ahead with the ISQB, and and that's good. Right. Okay. So, any questions? Does anyone have any questions? Richard, do you have any questions?
Have questions.
Okay.
Actually, whichever you write, this link you send us to us, right? All this the format things, syllables.
I'm sorry, I didn't get you. What is the question again?
We already have these syllables, right?
Right.
So yeah, so actually the thing is, the sound is not clear. One thing, the sound is so bad. So can you improve like these things? Like because we take, I think the Sanjay class, that was very clear. So
Okay.
this sound is like, yeah. Please, can you do something for this one? And so no, we cannot hear anything. Like, and can you send? You can send the record, right?
Right, right. I'll send you the recording, and actually, I opened the ticket for this too for the Zoom, but I'm not sure like what they have done. But I'll check with it. Okay, I'll check today.
Tell me something. Okay, hold on, guys. Tell me something. Are you guys? I'm talking to the trainer. So, are you using your laptop for giving this presentation, or you are using your phone or a speaker?
Laptop.
If it is laptop, it will not be good. If it is laptop, it will not be good. Is it possible, Manu? If you can give this, once you are talking, you should talk from the phone. Okay, I have used Zoom in before, and if you talk from phone, it will be only useful. If it is laptop, none of us will be able to hear.
Okay. So let me check. Okay. So by tomorrow, hopefully, I can able to. But the microphone remains same, right? The microphone remains same. So whatever the microphone you use in laptop will be the same microphone in the phone. Okay. So that will be the same. So, but the application might have some issues. Okay. So. Okay, so we check, I'll check tomorrow and, let you know. Hopefully, let's see how it goes.
Excuse me, the before who is speak, I didn't know who was speaking before. So he's talking about to you, he's talking about all the the participants.
Actually, he was talking about me. I'm using laptop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's go to quickly, we'll start say about the introduction. Okay. Let me mute all. We have smart issues. Okay. Okay. So let's go to our various types of testing. So I'll explain in detail like each and everything. Okay. So okay. Yeah, actually, it might be also some connection issue from that point because some people can hear. Some people can hear clearly, but some people are not. So that's the problem actually. Not, I mean, yeah, of course, I can see most of them. I can see here, but um, what I'm saying is like some people can hear. Okay, so let's quickly go to this slide. Okay, we'll start with black box testing. Okay, so what's the black box testing? Okay, these are various types of testing will be involved while you're in a project. You'll be doing a lot of testing, various types of testing. Okay, so what is the black box testing? So this is, to be short, short and sweet, you'll be saying like black box testing is a high level testing and is done by the testers and not by the programmers. And it is based on requirements and functionality. Okay, so black box testing is high level testing. That's what you need to remember. Black box testing is high level testing. Why? Because black box testing includes most of things like functional testing, regression testing, performance testing. So all these are like, after combining all these 3-4 subtypes of testing, you call that as black box testing. Okay, so no one will say you like, have you completed black box testing? So that's not an appropriate question. Why? Because black box testing is done at a team level. So as a team, let's say, when you're in a meeting, like, you have lead, you have, 2-3, testers, and you would be saying, okay, has the black box testing completed? The lead has to answer, like, who is doing what testing? He's doing functional testing, he's doing performance testing, he's doing the regression testing. Yes, we have completed black box. So that's how it's supposed to be. Okay. So black box testing is a high level testing. Okay, done by the testers and not by the programmers. And it is based on complete requirements and functionality. Okay, let's quickly jump. So we'll go in detail. What is, requirements like functionality, we'll just go through it quickly. Okay, so we have these requirements. Requirements are, delivered by the business analyst or product owner. Okay, let's not use the product owner for now. Business analyst. Okay, business analyst, decides always how the requirements and how the functionality will be. Okay, and and they will design all the requirements. So functionality, okay, is something which is, let's take an example here, google.com. Okay, so this is, everything what displays here is
functionality. Okay, what is the functionality of an application? Functionality of application includes like images, text box, edit box, URL, links, okay, drop down box, also all these things are a functionality. So everything, each and everything is a functionality here. So with this web page, that's also going to see this image. You see this image? This is a functionality. Okay, and this Google, this URL is a functionality, and this buttons. Okay, so this buttons, this app. Okay, good, and this this images. Okay, and drop down box. This is random rolling on drop down box. Okay, this is also functionality. So each and everything on a web page is a functionality. Okay, so that's what I discussed. Okay, so black box testing is a high level testing done by the testers and not by the programmers, and it is based on the requirements and functionality. Okay, so make sure black box testing is a high level testing. Okay, so let's move to the next one, white box testing. So in this testing, so this is done by the, so white box testing is also called as glass box testing. And let's see. Okay, and this is done by the programmer and not by the tester. That's what, the white box testing. So what is white box testing? This is, okay, this is also high level testing. It's high level testing for the programmers, not for testers, right? They will be doing whatever they are doing. We don't know. Okay, they'll be doing unit testing, SIT testing, a lot of things they'll be doing. Okay, we don't know, but even though those guys have their, sub levels of testing, unit testing, and again they do this, SIT, okay, and they check a lot of class, they check objects, they touch the code, they do a lot of things. So, white box testing is the testing done by, it's a high level testing, again, it's a high level testing done by the programmers and not by the tester. Why? Because the knowledge of internal logic of application code should be known. Okay, so let's check out here. How does that looks like? Let's go to Amazon.com, right? Okay, so this is Amazon.com, and we just see the code of this. How does that code looks like? So what exactly this developer does? In white box system, we want to know what this developer guys does with this white box system. We don't know. So here is what they do. Okay, so they see this code, and this is the code for this application, right? This is an application. This is an application as a user point of view, and this is the code for a developer and a business point of view. The business wants to see this code, right? And a user wants to see this application. So as a user, this is true. But whatever this code is being modified is done by a developer, right? And they go to each and every code and they modify it, okay, and they do whatever they want. So this is because this contains a lot of things. See, this code is integrated of so many things. See, look at this. This has HTML. There is a video here. Then you have some, Flash player or something. They have this Ajax script. They have this JavaScript. And a lot of things are in this code, just one code, right? And the right guy, the right developer has to look into this and solve the issue. So that's the white box testing. Get it? So that's the white box testing. Okay, that's not white box testing. I'm sorry, but it's a high level testing. But this is a part what they do in the white box system, right? It's a part because again, as I told you, white box testing is at high level. It's not done by one or two people. It's by the team level. Okay. Okay. So any questions in this two? Black box testing and white box testing, any questions? So let's quickly move to the next. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, some people can hear, some people cannot. I understand that. Okay. I know that. So let's, I'm already taking screenshot. Let's see, how you want to see this. Okay. So people who are able to hear it, if they have any questions, let me know. Okay. Okay. So let's go to the next one, unit testing. Again, this unit testing is done by the developers, not by the testers. Okay. So let's quickly check what is written. So testing of individual software components or modules, typically done by the programmers and not by the testers. Why? Because you need to know the detailed knowledge of internal program design and code. Okay, so here is where this comes as unit testing. Okay, so we have this. So let's quickly check. So this is the code. This is all the code we have in here. Let's say if a developer is doing some unit testing, so he or she has to go each and every loop and see what's the issue is. But this is unit. Unit means only some specific part of that code. This is a lot of code, it's a lot of things because this is not prepared by just one or two people. This is so many people are working in it. It's corporate environment. A lot of things happen. Okay, and unit testing is done by one unit. So we will take this script. Okay, this JavaScript. We have this JavaScript, and that guy has to is responsible for doing this unit testing. Okay, because this is just unit, one part in the whole script, with just a small part, some loop or something, so that's called unit testing. And so as a tester, we don't do this. We are not. We have no knowledge on what is the programming and what's going on. What is this loop? And we have no idea on that. So we don't do this, right? And so that's about this unit testing. So testing an individual software components or module. You see this? This is a module script. So they use this JavaScript. Okay. So they're using some JavaScript here in this HTML, and you need to test that. Okay, so that's called unit testing. So some unit, because this has so many, right? It also has HTML, and they also have. Okay, if there's a video here, they will also have Flash Player or something else, but they also have this JavaScript integrated here. Okay. So whatever it is, so they will be doing that unit testing, and this is done by the programmer, not by the tester. Okay, next we go to next integration testing. Let's go before that. Okay, so before that we'll go to functional testing, right? So functional testing. Okay, so this is what we'll be doing as a tester, as a QA analyst or QA tester, or QA point of view. We'll be doing this functional testing. Okay, so always remember, QA does as a QA. Whenever QA want to perform any testing, he or she will be looking into the customer point of view. Okay, and developer develops in a business point of view, because business wants something to be done. They'll do it. They'll just say, okay, it's done. If any issues come up, any production issues, any issue like QA issue or something, now that developer is not responsible. The QA guy is responsible, because they will catch QA guy, not the developer, if any issues. So this is very, very important to as a functional tester. Okay, so let's quickly check functional testing. So this type of testing to test the functionality of an application based on the requirements. Okay, not only this requirements, but you also have to test the complete function. As a QA, so you never ask your lead saying that what I need to test. So that's not even a question. Just please, when you go to the work, please don't ask this. So what I need to test. See, that's not even a question, because that really shows how much experience you have. You don't ask this kind of question, because as a tester, we need to test everything. There's no point to ask what are you going to test. Okay, we want to make sure what the procedures we are following. Are we doing functional testing? Are we doing regression testing? Are we doing performance? That's fine. That's okay. But we are never going to ask what I need to test. That's is outdated. That's not even a question. Okay, so make sure don't ask such kind of questions. Okay, so we'll go to quickly check how this functional testing looks like. Let's go to Google. Okay, so this is an application. Let's say this is an application. So we already looked into this, right? Now, so everything, whatever you need to test is everything. So not just one of the, everything is a functional testing. Everything is functionality. This is an app. Okay. What do you call this? Google app. Okay, that's fine. Notification. Okay, good. And all these are, URLs. Okay, if I click this, is it navigating to the different page? Yes, that's good. Let's click on this advertising. Is it navigating to the next page? Is good. Okay. And you want to see this is random rolling on button, that's fine. And so this button doesn't work because you are not filling any information here, but in moving forward, maybe Google would want to remove this button, because when you already type, it's showing up here, so you don't want any buttons there, right? So this button technically, if you have any slow internet, or you might use that. Otherwise, no use of that button. Okay, so this is all covers in the functionality. Everything. This URL is a functionality. This image, you want to see this image is proper. The image color is good. Image size is good. Font is okay. That's a little bit we come across that is something which is cosmetic issue. We don't worry a lot about that. Still, you don't have work. You will be working on that. But okay. all this. So let's quickly check one more function. Let's go to Amazon.com and see how the functionality. So what is functionality testing? To test functionality of an application, based on the requirements. To test what are the functionality? Functionality can be images, can be a button, drop-down box, okay, URLs, images, random rolling under buttons, all buttons, so on. Whatever you have this, the list keep on moving. Okay, so let's see what is the functionality for this. You see this? This is very complicated website. Okay, why? Because a lot of options here, a lot of things going on here. See, although you find only, you look like this, this is not big, but you have this URL in the image itself, because when you click on this, it's navigating with the, that's a functionality, right? That's a functionality. And this Amazon has some, good peculiar functionality based on usefulness. Whenever I hover my mouse, let's see, just hover my mouse, go to the department. I'm not even clicking anything. Remember this, I'm not even clicking here, hovering my mouse over this department section. You see this? This list shows up suddenly, and the background light lights off. The background light is gone. You see this? Okay. So that's also is functionality. That's a pretty complicated functionality. Not everyone tests that, but that's very important to know. Okay, you won't have to test anything, but you need to know, because there is a functionality such kind of thing in your project. You need to really take care of that, because sometimes they are very particular about some functionalities. Okay, you hover your mouse here, this drop down box shows up, and the light switches off. The brightness of the background is really off. Okay, and you move this, and this keeps on moving. You're not even clicking anything, right? You're not even clicking. You're just hovering your mouse. That's it, and a lot of things showing up. So that's also a kind of functionality. Okay, so that's the functionality of an application. Okay. Now then, sometimes there might be a bug if you are hovering your mouse and the background light is not switches off. So that might be a bug. If the document shows up, then it's really a bug. Then you need to put in a defect, right? So that's about the functional testing. So this is the testing to test an functionality of an application, and based on the requirements, you test this. Any questions in functional testing? So this is what you'll be doing. Functional testing, most of the time you'll be opening defects. Make sure you guys open defects. So I'll be move that. Moving forward, we'll know. So, but this is what you'll be doing. Functional testing, and of course, if you have any smoke testing or sanity testing, you'll be working on. Okay. So if no one has questions, let's move to the next topic. Okay, let's go to integration testing. Okay, so now, okay, good. Any questions? Okay, so what's the difference between the functional testing and black box testing? Black box testing is a high level testing. That means functional testing is included in the black box testing. So let's take this. Black box testing, okay, has sub-levels, functional testing, integration testing, okay, incremental integration testing, 3 or 4 testing included in the black box testing. Okay, that's a bunch of testing. Black box testing is a bunch of testing. You have 3 to 4 testing. When you say that 3 to 4 testing are done, that means black box testing is done, right? So that's high level testing. It's a boss of all testers. Okay. Now let's move to integration testing. Okay. Integration testing is, okay, so here is the integration. So we know what is integration. That means one application, okay, 2 applications. Let's say 2 applications. We have 2 applications, and one application is integrated into one application. Let's see how. Okay, let's quickly check how can we include 2 applications in one application. So we'll go back to a simple website. This looks very simple, but it's not. Okay, so google.com. So this is one application. Okay, let's say 5 to 6 developers have designed this google.com website, and they have integrated many more applications. Like let's take it here, Gmail. No, we have this Gmail. They have integrated here. See this? When I click this, it just goes to the Gmail. You know, that's a different domain. Okay, that's a subdomain. Okay, this is subdomain, so it belongs to google.com. That's fine. You know, the developers may not be same developers, different developers, because they're working on different projects. That's fine. That's one. Let's click on this Google Apps. These many apps, these many applications are integrated into google.com. You see this? So that is integration. And to test all this, it's called integration testing. Okay. So let's quickly go to this. Testing of integrated modules to verify combined functionality after integration. See what happens, right? You want to test this, because after integration of that application into this application, some other code breaks up. You want to make sure that code doesn't break. Okay? Because if something happens, you are responsible, not developer. Developer jobs is done. They have integrated it. It's done. But as a QA, as a QA tester, QA analyst, you are responsible that after integration, you know, after integration, the code doesn't break. You know, so that's what you need to test. So integration testing is to test an integrated modules after the combined functionality, because you know that code might be different. So this is old code and this is a new code, and they want to integrate that old code into new code. A lot of issues goes on, lot of chain emails, lot of loops, you know, so many things go on, because they want to make sure that, you know. So you can say to me saying that, hey, what's the big deal, man? I'll just integrate this icon and put that URL in that. Okay, so then YouTube, just youtube.com, that's it, there's no big deal. But that doesn't work that way. Okay, the company, you know, google.com acquired that company YouTube, that's good. But let's go to Amazon. Here they have integrated these many modules. Let's say, you know, they have some different company, you know, let's say, I don't know, casa.com, some jewelry.com. But this is no way related to Amazon. This is not an Amazon company, so that's a third-party company. Now, when you want to integrate that application, so that URL, okay, that image or that URL into this, that doesn't be simple, because you know their developers are different, these developers are different, and this is a totally different company, and there's a license issue, there's a certification issue, there is a lot of things happen. So you want to see that after integration, testing is done properly. That's called integration testing. Okay, so what is integration testing? To test an integrated modules to make sure the combined functionality works after integration. Okay, so that can be anything like, you know, client server applications on network, or you know, maybe images, maybe URLs, mostly URLs, as we have seen here, right? So these are, you know, this is an example for integration testing. They have integrated these many modules into just one module, google.com, and they have just named this a Google app, and just whenever you click on this, see, after some time the Google might also remove that clicking option, and they say just hover your mouse and this shot shows up. So that's so easy. Okay, so so maybe they didn't get an idea, or they don't want to implement it. Otherwise, they would have used this. Okay, so this is an integration testing. Why? I'm sorry, this is the integration module, and to test this, you need this. You know, if you are testing this integration, then it's called integration testing. A lot of things. You see, Drive, news is completely different. Okay, they might have this subdomain in this. YouTube is, you know, that's completely different domain, right? It's google.com and it's like youtube.com. Okay, two different domains altogether. So that is integration testing. Okay, so let's move to the next one. We have this incremental integration testing. Okay, so that means you need to do continuous testing of an incremental application. That means, let's say here, let's do this. Here you have this. When you click on this, you know, this option shows up. So you are done with this, okay, testing. Now let's click on this. This you have more, you know, this is incremental. So that means it is increasing, right? You before you had only, you know, 9 apps, you know? 11 apps. Okay, you know, you still test 11. You have more again. Again, more 11 apps. Again, no, we need more. So, you have more apps to test. So, okay, so that's called incremental. That means it's keep on increasing, and you need to keep on testing. So that's called incremental integration testing. They keep on integrating that application into this, and they keep on testing it. Okay, so that's called continuous testing of an application as a new functionality is always added. Okay, so this is mostly done by programmers and sometimes testers. Any questions so far? Okay, the people who can listen hear properly. Any questions? So, no, we have covered this. Let's go quickly to the next. Okay. So we have the next system testing. So, whenever you want to do this system testing is a little bit, typical, like the entire system has to be tested. Okay. Black box is a kind of, is a type of testing where you do this because the system testing also included in the black box. Black box is pretty high level. I mean, that is included, a lot of testing is included into that. Okay. So system testing is also included in the black box. So what is system testing? System testing is, to test overall system. So because the system is pretty complicated, a lot of applications are installed. So this is more related to client applications. So far we were talking about the web application. Web application, all this what I was trying to explain so far was web application. But system testing is more of a client application. What is the client application? Whichever you install in your system, whichever you want to download, once you download it and install it to control panel or whatever software, needs of software, that's called client application. The example for client application, in data, before that there was a Google Talk, right? Google Talk was Hangouts. You just Hangouts is a little bit different because it's installed in the browser and but still it works as a client because you have this client application. So Hangouts, you can take it as a Hangouts. Okay, that's a client application. Okay, and because it's installed in your system and you're using to way to communicate with the other, it goes to the Google server, and goes through that. So that's a web server and CAN server. Okay, so let's not worry about that. Okay, so whichever installs in your system is called client application. Okay, so now you need to test the system testing. So this system testing, it's very complicated because a lot of things when you install a application, a lot of things happen. Registry keys gets updated, DLL file gets updated, and new file system is shown up. So all these you need to test based on the requirements. Of course, not everything. Okay. So based on the requirements, you will be testing the system applications. Okay. So not everything, because see here you can see a lot of things here. This is not all listed. Only which you install a particular application and anything related to that application, which is DLL file, registry keys, or any file that is getting updated based on the requirements. Of course, we are not going to test blind. Okay, you have to follow the documents. Follow the documents, and you will be testing that. So, what is system testing? Entire system is tested as per the requirements. That's the answer. That's it. Okay, and black box testing is included in this. Combines this system testing is included in the black box testing. Okay, so that's a system testing. So we have some minutes left. So let's quickly. So does anyone have issues? I'll take like 15 minutes. Like 15 minutes. Does anyone have issues? 10 to 15 minutes. We'll finish this. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next end-to-end testing. So end-to-end testing is, to test from one end to another end, right? End-to-end testing is like, to test from one end to another end in QA point of view. So we just don't go to ETL because ETL becomes pretty broad, because when you're talking about end-to-end testing in ETL, then you need to do a lot of things. You need to do source testing, you need to do stage testing, you need to do, target testing, then you need to have this jobs running on, then you want to make sure that is running, and again you want to do this back-end testing, again you want to do this, application, front-end application. So a lot of things happen in this end-to-end. So we'll keep it simple. So whenever you need to talk, just make sure end-to-end testing as a QA point of view, end-to-end testing goes from one end to another end. Okay, that includes everything: functional testing, regression testing, performance testing, sanity testing, smoke testing, so on. It's on the list keeps on going. Okay, so that's the end-to-end testing. That means from one end to another end. Okay, so that includes everything, with the database, network communications, interacting with hardware, applications, software. Okay, so we'll keep it simple as a QA point of view. So if you want to be ETL, so you can say as a ETL point of view. As a ETL point of view, end-to-end testing means testing from one end to another end. That includes, source testing, stage testing. If you have using some automation jobs, you do this job testing, and then you have this, back-end testing. You want to do this back-end, and if you have performance, in the ETL, you also have this performance testing. You want to do that. So a lot of testing. Okay, so everything, it has to cover everything. That's why it's called as end-to-end testing, from one end to another end. Okay, so let's move to the next topic. Any questions so far? Yeah, people who can, people who can hear me properly. Any questions? Sure. Sure. So because, I have limited time, because you guys might have one more class. So I just wanted to complete this quickly. So I was, moving a little bit fast. Okay. Because we have, we don't have much time. We can move it like 2 hours, but then, we cannot, you will also get tired. So just wanted to, make it. Right. So, okay, no issues. Let's go to the next topic. So, sanity testing. So, before that, we'll go just quickly to the smoke testing. It's not there here. Smoke testing is not included in this, but I'll just, smoke testing is like random. Okay, before going to smoke testing, I just want to, say what is a smoke. See, let me give some information, background information when you are trying to do this smoke testing, because you need to know some information. Not related to smoke testing, but when you are doing the project, you need to know. So there are three, okay? There are three environments. Notice there are three environments. One is dev environment, that is development environment, where the development is done. Okay, that is access. They have access to developers. Then you have this QA environment. QA environment is done by a QA tester, QA analyst, QA lead, so on. And you have this QA only access. No, the people don't have that access. And then you have this production environment where nobody has access. Okay, developer don't have much of production access. They have the production guys who have some limited amount of production, because this production is completely automated. So they don't want anyone to touch, because if anything happens, everything breaks up. The production environment is something which is completely different. Okay, so there is dev environment. So once the developer develops an application, checks in the code into the dev environment, and once it gets approved, Then that code is moved to the test environment. Then we are going to test that. So there are builds, there are a lot of builds. That means there's a middleware team who will be working with their guys to move that code from dev environment to test environment. Okay, so let's not worry about that. So that things happen every time. So let's worry on this smoke testing. So now, what is the smoke testing? Okay, smoke testing is before you want to make sure is it an application testable or not. Okay, so it's a random testing. It's kind of random testing. Let's say developer has given you application. So let's say this is an application. Developer says, okay, this is done. This is been you are good. This is done in the developer. Now it's moved to the test. Now you got to test this. Now before doing this, you want to make sure is it testable or not, because you don't want to move that into functional testing. Because if there are issues, then you need to report it. So we don't want that into test function testing. We want to do is smoke testing. Okay, so it's a random testing. You want to click on this, any bugs here, you need to report immediately to the developer. Let's say you found some bug and you reported to this. Okay, the developer's okay. So let's see this. I'll see the code and whatever it is, and I'll check in the code by today evening. So there is a build on 4 p.m. Just that build goes on, just start testing on 4 p.m. Okay, the developer says that, and you're good. Okay, that's smoke testing. What is smoke testing? Smoke testing is random testing to make sure the application is testable or not. Okay, smoke testing is to test an application is testable or not. The only difference what I see from functional testing and smoke testing is like you don't have test cases in smoke testing, right? And you don't have test cases. Functional testing does have test cases, and smoke testing doesn't last for long. Just 1-2 hours at max 3 hours is just done. You don't do days together. Functional testing you take some time. Okay, that's the major difference between, and both are like functional, but this is like pretty quick. Smoke testing is pretty good, 2-3 hours and done. Okay. So that's a very good question. Actually, skim testing, I have not heard that for a long time. Let's see. Okay, that's a very good question. So, I don't think that is same. So that's two are different. There is not a lot of information on skim testing, right? Okay. Nobody has created wiki for that. Okay, so that is not same. Let's go here. So skim testing is completely different. Where did we find skim testing? Okay. That's good. So this is not same. Smoke testing is related to more application side, and this is related to build release. Okay, if your new build is done, you want to see this, to determine this is a build or good or not. So this is not particularly more important for QA point of view, because this is for acceptance user testing, AUT, or UAT, user acceptance testing, and this doesn't more. But that's a good question. This is not much related to QA, but it's more related to UAT, user acceptance testing. Okay, so it's related to build. Okay, so we want to see that the build is good or not. Okay, that's the skim testing. That's a good question. Yeah, it's been a long time I've heard of that word. That's good. Okay, so let's move to the next topic, the sanity testing. Um, Sanity testing is okay. So you have this, as I told you, you have different builds. A builds are version, version is something a bit different, but we can't go much technical on that. Okay, when the new build is new software version, let's say you have this. Okay, let's take here. You're going to use this Firefox. Now, this has a version. Okay, so let's say we were testing all this. Let's say they have released a new browser, new version of browser. Okay, they have released a new version of browser, and they said to start testing this browser. And oops, okay, good. Now they have released a new update. Like let's say we were working on something 15th browser, 50th version, 50th version. Okay, but they released a new one as 51. Okay, so now you want to test that. So both, okay, one is 50 and one is 51. So that's called sanity testing. That means a new version. Whenever a new version is released, okay, so whenever a new version is released, you want to do this, sanity testing. New software is performing well enough. Okay, so whenever a new software they want to, whenever new version, not the old version. So there are so many versions, 40, 41, 42, 43, so on. But new version, new version, 51. So we want to see that. We want to test that. So that's called sanity test. We have tested all those, so that's fine. But we want to see this new version is working. So that's called sanity test. Okay. And next we will just quickly go to this regression testing. So regression testing to test a whole application. Okay, so just in whole application, let's go a little bit in detail with this. Just 5 to 10 minutes. We'll just close this. Let's say you have, you are going to do manual testing, right? So all this we were doing so far was manual testing. That means you are doing just by clicking the mouse and you are not using any tools here. No, nobody you are using any tools. But developer was doing something and you don't know, and you were sign off when you were trying to sign off, and you were good and whole manual testing was done, and you put in defects and all this was good. Suddenly, developer shows up saying that, hey, there are some issues in the code. We fixed this issue. Can you go to test it now? So, can anyone say what's your response on this? Developer shows up on your desk suddenly from nowhere. You don't even know it. Who is this guy? Okay. And he shows up and saying that we fixed some issue. Okay. He's coming to you. And how would you answer that question saying that, we fixed this issue, can you test this application? Can anyone have any response on this? So my question is, like, developer suddenly shows up on your desk saying that, they fixed some issue. We don't know what's the issue. I don't know. The guy was talking something that he's like, I don't know. I'm a tester. I'm not a developer. So he said, he fixed something in the code. Okay, so they have their code objects, classes. Okay, they use something. Maybe they forgot the semicolon. They put a semicolon. And he said to test it again. And we have done our testing. So when developer directly comes on your desk and says, okay, can you please test an application? Okay, So yeah, anyone, does anyone have a question? Yeah, somebody raised hand, right? Let's see. Yeah, does anyone have any question? Yeah, Pratibha, did you raise your hand? Oops. I don't know if people can hear me. Okay. Okay. No, regression testing is not retesting. Okay. So let's see. So what you need to no, I'll be like, so whenever the developers comes up and tell me that, I'll be like, are you kidding me? We are done with testing. We are done with QA testing. We have to sign off in 2 weeks going to production, and you're telling me that I need to test now again from scratch, that just because you have changed some code into an application which I don't even know. So that's not even a question for you, because if you are doing anything something like that, you are getting caught. Okay, your manager gets hold of you. Okay, so that is something that you are not going to answer that. But he came to you saying that now when that such thing happened, you need to check with your lead. So you take that guy. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk to my lead. You are not going to answer that, because in 2 weeks we are done with this QA testing, and that guy wants to do it, telling me suddenly came up, shows up from nowhere. You don't even know that guy who is working on the project, and showing up and saying that, okay, can you test this? That's not going to happen. So you need to check up with the lead saying that, hey, this was it. So what you can do is, like, after coming up with one, at one point after meeting, we'll say that, so we are done with the QA testing. We are done. Okay, so we are signed off. What we can do is we can move this into the regression testing. So next week we have this regression testing that is going to start, and and at that time, we can do the testing. Okay, because we are not going to retest. No, we are not going to do double testing. This is no point. We have already completed our testing, and we are not going to, just because some developer guy just wanted to fix some issue and just wanted to tell us to test. We are not going to test just like that until we get orders from your manager, right? We are not going to do this, because if you are going to do just because he said, you are going to get screwed up. Trust me, that's not the way. You need to know your leads. You need to check up with your leads, saying that, hey. So that's how regression testing is one of the important feature what we have. Because just because developer does some testing and fixes some issues, we cannot go back and start testing. We need to move forward. We move forward. We don't go backward, right? So that's one of the reason why we need this regression testing. Regression testing is separate whole team. That is automation tester. Okay, they might use Selenium, they might use QATP, they might use UFT, and so on. UFT is that is that's a tool. So in the regression testing, you have using a tool. So testing an application with the whole using tool. You are using a tool here, because typically automation tools are used because whole application is there, automating it. They'll have, okay, so that has a complete different world altogether. They have automation, okay, so automation tester, automation developer, automation architect, automation BA. That's a completely different world. We don't want to go there. But regression testing is testing an application as a whole using an automation tool such as Selenium, such as UFT, QTP. Okay, so that's the regression test. Okay, so always such kind of scenarios, just remember it. Just because developer is saying to do this, you're not going to do that. Okay, that's not a good idea. Just remember that. Okay, just because somebody shows up and you don't even know that guy, came from nowhere and you just want to test it again, you don't go back and start testing. Okay, you need to answer your manager, not your developer. Okay, so just make a note of that. Okay, any questions? So we'll just close this class for today. I know it was a little bit, people that cannot hear properly. So I'll give a good recording at the end of the day. So don't worry about it. Okay, any questions so far? We'll just close this class for today. No, I'm not going to teach Selenium, but I am going to give you introduction on UFT. Okay, I'm going to give you an introduction on UFT. Just get some idea, because go and see. Again, I told you, right? Just don't stick into one skill. If you're going to QA, it's good. QA, ETL, that's good. You need to little bit, be broad, little bit. You need to check also ETL tester, QA analyst, and data analyst, and lead. Also go as a lead. It's no big deal. Trust me. Similar way. So if the more options you open, the more easily you get a project. That's what I mean. Okay, multiple skills always have better chances. That's what it is. Okay. So if no one has any questions, can we close this class for today? Okay, that's also a good question. Skin testing. Okay, so yeah, to test and build. Okay, new build which goes in acceptance testing. Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys.